Hi everyone.
Hi.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi Radha.
Also,
Hi Dr. Dubey. Hi Vijay. Yeah, Binal, you can use the mute button available on your mic itself, sitting over there. You unmute from here and use it from there. So we are just testing out a hybrid mode also at Binal's place. You have to unmute it here. Yes. 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 Great.
Can I get the, do I record the session? Just to-
Okay. Yes. Yes. You can. Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, Vijay, if you can speak something. No, we are not. We are not able to hear you. Yeah. Okay. Great. Radha, how is it going on?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm
Yeah.
just going slower than usual.
Aha, there is nothing usual.
Yeah.
Great. So, no video is on. Meenu, Dr. Dubey.
yes, just give me a bit, sir. I'll turn it on.
Yes, 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 yes. Great. Anything coming to your mind, guys? So I had an experience of KFI meeting this morning, Krishnamurti Foundation of India meeting online. The Kolkata chapter met online, so this is the first meeting I attended. Quite intensive, and the topic was pre-decided. The topic was very interesting. How to leave teaching. So teaching means they actually talk about K's teaching, JK, Jiddu Krishnamurti's teaching. So, so interestingly, how to leave teaching uh, got emerged to how to leave teaching. Could you understand this?
Yes, sir. LEAVE, leave teaching.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
fact,
So it started
the
with
first
how to
one,
leave teaching.
I thought you were saying that only. When you said the second sentence, that's when I realized you said live earlier and leave later.
Yes, 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 yes. So we started with live, but it got emerged to leave, and that's the beauty of I think this framework altogether. There's no guruism, no following of a master, and that's what is the leaving teachings. It's not about teaching; it's about the experience and being observant about the experiences. Yeah, Binal, can you say something so that you can check whether your mic is working or not?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes. So you can say something more also.
As it would emerge, but so you started off with how to live LIVE teaching, and then
Yes,
it ended up as how to leave teaching LEAVE.
yes,
Okay.
yes, 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 yes. So everybody was sharing their experiences with K teaching and implementing it with life, with their life. I've decided to quit my job as a teacher. What timing! Okay, okay. Radha is saying that she is deciding to quit her job as teacher. So yeah, so action doesn't matter though, Radha. The processing matters. Being in the teaching profession, also you can leave teaching, isn't it?
Yes, I had to ask questions like, uh, because right now I am in mainstream teaching. So I had to ask more important questions like, the subjects that I teach, do those subjects align with who I am or what my innate interest or tendency is? And I also had to answer questions like, whatever teaching learning is happening, uh, to what extent is that satisfying a particular need in the society? These are very basic questions. So I think what I might possibly do in future
What
is
kind of
more
need are you talking about?
like, it is very functional. The work I do, we train students to complete their higher education and find admission in foreign universities. So that is what I have been doing for the last 4 years. And I have come to a point where I realized that a lot of it is focused on expanding the intellectual ability of the child, and at the cost of ignoring holistic development. And when I started my profession, like when I started teaching, I started as a play school teacher. So where the whole process, and it focuses on a holistic development. So maybe I'll just go back to something that is more holistic in nature than doing something which is, just to provide skilled people for the job market. So maybe those are the questions I'm answering right now. So just that it's what is it? um I mean, I'm not satisfied. There is some gap somewhere, and I'm just trying to realign. That's it.
Yeah, meaningful, meaningful. Yes, Vijay. I think you are audible now.
Now audible?
Yes, yes, yes. Dr. Dubey, you're saying that the audio is breaking?
No, that was not me.
Yes, sir. From your side, little bit earlier it was breaking the voice. Right now it is okay.
Is it okay? Okay, okay. Yeah, Vijay.
Yes, sir. बोलिए.
आप बोलो ना सर.
कुछ नहीं. That's it.
स्पाइक अच्छा लग रहा है. स्पाइक अच्छा लग रहा है.
I just wanted to share one experience.
Sir. Yes.
So अभी I just got back home. घर पे काम चालू होने वाला है ना, पेंटिंग वगैरह काम चालू. So I had 3 vendors to select from, टाइल्स वगैरह एंड पेंटिंग वगैरह का. तो फर्स्ट वाले ने तो टाइम दिया नहीं, बड़ा मतलब मेरे को लगा था बड़ा कुछ है आदमी वो, तो उसने बोला सिलेक्ट कर लो. और देन मैं देख लिया तो 2-3 फोटोज एंड देन आई केम बैक. सेकेंड वाले ने थोड़ा और ज़्यादा मतलब टाइम देने का कोशिश किया मेरे साथ, मतलब ऐसा हो सकता है, वैसा हो सकता है, आप ऐसा कर सकते हो. एंड थर्ड वाले में थोड़ा मेरे को बंदा रूड लगा. बट देन वही सेकेंड पे आई ऑब्जर्व द थॉट. एंड देन फॉर एग्जाम्पल फर्स्ट वाले ने 2-5 मिनट लिया रहेगा, सेकेंड वाले ने लिया रहेगा 15-20 मिनट, एंड थर्ड वाले ने मुझे लगा कि मतलब इसे तो अपना पटेगा नहीं, क्योंकि बाकी कस्टमर से भी वो एकदम रूड बिहेव कर रहा था. तो देयर वाज दिस जजमेंट कमिंग डाउन थ्रू थॉट्स, एंड आई ऑब्जर्व दैट. एंड देन पता नहीं कैसे क्लिक हुआ, एंड देन उसके साथ मैं 2 घंटा बैठ गया कि ऐसा कर सकते हैं, वैसा कर सकते हैं, पूरा इन ऑल. तो
The third one.
या द थर्ड वन.
You start with the third one. Okay.
करेक्ट. तो वही ऑब्जर्व किया थॉट्स, बट मुझे लगा कि नहीं, इसके साथ तो कुछ बनेगा नहीं, एंड 2 मिनट में काम खत्म हो जाएगा. बट वही बंदे का मतलब इतना अच्छा हम लोग का पैचअप हो गया फिर उसने बहुत सारे एग्जांपल्स दिए कैसा बना सकते हो आप, कैसा कर सकते हो। तो ये मतलब एक छोटा सा एक पता नहीं अगर बैठ रहा है कि नहीं वो हम लोग
So you finally selected the third one?
मतलब उसने जैसे मुझे सर्विस दिया अपना थोड़ा थोड़ा थिंकिंग दिया कि मतलब आप ऐसा नॉर्मली सब लोग ऐसा ही करते बट आप ऐसा कुछ कर सकते हो। एंड ही वाज ट्राइंग टू मतलब रेसिप्रोकेटिव था वो बहुत। तो वो अपने तरफ से भी इनपुट दे रहा था बहुत सारा। बाकी का फर्स्ट वाले ने तो कुछ भाव ही नहीं डाला कि भाई ये है तो हम सिलेक्ट कर। एंड थर्ड वाले का मुझे जजमेंट आया कि भाई ये रूट बिहेव करा सबसे, तो इससे तो और टाइम और मतलब फटाफट हो जाए। बट उसके साथ इतना अच्छा हो गया कि मतलब मैं वहाँ पे 2 घंटे स्पेंड कर या
Yes, yes,
तो
yes.
मतलब वो एक ऑब्जर्वेशन वही थॉट को ऑब्जर्व कर लिया था मैंने उस टाइम। बट वही मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि ये बरोबर वही मतलब ऑब्जर्व करने से ही हुआ कि और कुछ था।
नहीं, ऑब्जर्व करने से ही हुआ लग रहा है, अभी तक तो वही लग रहा है। और क्या हो सकता है? मतलब इनिशियली यू एक्सपीरियंस द रूडनेस but you gave time to yourself and to the situation, and that
Yeah.
is what is the observation. You have not concluded. It's a power of non-conclusion.
या बेसिकली यस ट्रू। मतलब मैंने फिर वो थॉट्स को जाने दिया। मतलब आई डिडंट कि मैंने उसको हाँ या ना कुछ बोला नहीं कि भाई हाँ रूड है वो या कुछ है। देन वी स्टार्टेड गिविंग टाइम। फिर वो अपना बोलने लगा कि भाई जब भी मेरे कस्टमर लोग आते वो लोग बोलते मेरे को ये दिखाओ, मैं कुछ बोल नहीं सकता हूँ। एंड फिर मैंने बोला नहीं आप अपना भी इनपुट दो, मैं आपका इनपुट रखूँगा ठीक है। फिर जाके मतलब उसका बहुत अच्छा इनपुट था वैसे देखा जाए। तो ये है छोटा सा कहानी।
Yes. Hi, Rajeshwari.
Is Rajeshwari there?
Arya, yeah, Arya.
Oh,
Yeah,
acha.
yeah. Kalyan, that's me. I am renaming. I'm joined in from my mobile, so I'm just trying to read.
Okay, I can do it.
मी माझी सायकल वापरते आणि आर्यन तुझी घेते. येस. फक्त आल्यावर लॉक आणि तिकडे पण नीट लॉक. पैसे घेऊन ना पाहिजे.
Vijay?
Okay. From Binal side, there is no. Yeah, Meenu, you were saying.
I was saying that ये जो थर्ड पर्सन जिसका ये ऑब्जर्वेशन आपको ऐसा हुआ अपना कि मैंने ये कंक्लूड किया है अभी कि ये रूड है, और फिर यू आर गोइंग बियॉन्ड दैट एंड देन फिर आप जैसे ही ऑब्जर्व हुआ वो एक नॉन कंक्लूसिव एस्पेक्ट में आ गया एंड देन वो वहां से वो बात कंटिन्यू हुई। और वो जो पहले दो जन थे उनका क्या लाइक मतलब वो पहले दो जन का क्या सोचा था आपने?
ऐसा कुछ सोचा नहीं था। बट देन दे डिडंट गिव मी टाइम ना। तो फिर फटफट उधर से मतलब हो गया। मतलब 5 मिनट्स में मैं फर्स्ट वाले में से निकल गया। एंड सेकेंड वाले ने थोड़ा सा मेहनत किया कि और मैं उसको मतलब एक बोलते ना सर्विस देते जो, तो उसने 5-10 मिनट्स और ट्राई किया मेरे को कन्विंस करने का कि ऐसा करो ऐसा।
सॉरी विजय, आपके यहाँ आपके इनसे वॉल्यूम कम आ रहा है क्या सर आपको? आई एम नॉट एबल
मैं तो सुन पा रहा
ठीक
हूँ।
आ रहा है? अच्छा ओके ठीक है।
शुड आई रिपीट?
Yeah, I can. If Meenu can hear me, then I can repeat for you. Uh, the
हाँ सर।
first individual didn't give time, so Vijay couldn't decide at that point, and the second one tried to convince, but somehow it didn't work for Vijay. Is it so, Vijay? The second one.
मतलब नाउ इफ आई कंपेयर ना फ्रॉम थर्ड वन, द सेकेंड वन जो सर्विस देते ना, नाउ इट्स अ कस्टमर एंड दिस थिंग राइट। So he tried to tell things to me, but वो enthusiasm and all that thing to sell something and input from other side कि भाई ऐसा करोगे तो ऐसा होगा, मतलब उनके पास प्रोडक्ट है, उन्होंने बोला कि ये है, सिलेक्ट करो। फर्स्ट वाले ने तो बोला कि सिलेक्ट कर लो और कुछ भाव नहीं दिया, मतलब समझ रहे। सेकंड वाले ने बोला ये है, आप इसमें से सिलेक्ट कर सकते हो, ये अच्छा दिखेगा, ये नहीं अच्छा लगेगा, ये ओल्ड वाला हो गया, ये नया है। एंड थर्ड वाले ने फुल मेहनत किया, मतलब जिससे मुझे कुछ भी मतलब उम्मीद नहीं थी at one point of time.
So here, what we are discussing that has emerged actually, in case of skill selection, what could be our approach? In case of skill selection, what could be our approach? So Vijay is Rajeshwari joined late. So what was the scenario? Vijay was selecting a painting service for his house. So he interacted with 3 painting services, and then this discussion emerged. So let's go beyond the specific case of selecting a painting service. But what could be our approach when we select some skilled person, maybe for our business or maybe for our household work, like Vijay is selecting, or whatsoever, maybe selecting a housemaid for that matter. So yes, any reflection? Rajeshwari, how do you select a housemaid? You don't have a housemaid?
No, I realized that that's the best way you can conserve energy.
So
Trust
you
me,
have the-
when I was working and Arya was really tiny, and it used to take a lot of time to get that right resource, and it's a very thin line between the salary that you pay, the quality that you expect, and they as individuals, and so many other aspects, right, of the way they think, the way they execute their actions, right, from the choice of words to behavior to the way they, so makes a huge difference. So when you are I think so that you always had a big conflict, and eventually I realized that I will conserve a lot of vitality with not doing it, but rather, even it's okay to do it yourself because it's a great exercise. If I have to wait that way, gym जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, यहीं पे झाड़ू पोछा कर लो, but don't get into
Vijay
that
can go
because
little slow and pick up one room at a time and paint yourself.
absolutely it's if we do not have an idea about dignities, perfections, roles,
Let's drop the dignity. I'm sure that's not the issue here. But yeah, perfection could be an issue which may bother.
Yeah. So yes, I think at least, I mean, when it comes to maids, that's where I am. I do not know what other aspects. I remember when I found a similar area in terms of getting a good tailor for stitching. Sorry?
That's what you started learning stitching. That's what Minu is doing now.
Is it?
Yeah. Minu started learning stitching.
Yeah, so I realized that there are so many other possibilities. If I mean, you could learn stitching, or you could just learn to graduate to clothes which don't need you to kind of get too particular about fitment and this and all of that. And so there are options. You keep evaluating. I think things do keep coming, and as long as we are open, we always find newer ways to handle it with lesser energy involvement. So these are practical areas where I at least tried to realize that yeah, this is taking too much of because फिर वो वापस टेलर के पास बोलो कि अरे यार ये बराबर नहीं बना है, फिर वो because he's got his limited bandwidth, his resources. He doesn't like to have a customer come back 5 times and say, you know, it's not done. Yet he is not realizing that he's not done his task in the. So it leads to a lot of angst, which I think. So yeah, like I said, that's where I realized that it's okay to. There are other alternatives which one can explore. If not stitching. Stitching is brilliant, but at that point of time, I don't think I had the time to get into learning it. But yes, I think I recently met a person, and very interesting because it's quite in line with this conversation that we're having here, who stays in the US. He had come down to India for some naturopathy I think treatments or something like that. And he was sharing how he had started different kinds of businesses, and how he was just sharing his experience and said that so he started a school, and in the school he kind of invited the hygiene services for the cleaning and everything. And the first agency he had, and it didn't work, and the second agency and the third agency, until he said chuck it, and he went and did a janitor's course, and then he started teaching them how you should do it. So he said that I was particular and I was not finding it, so I said let me learn it myself, and then see if I can train my staff, and then I got what I really wanted. So one example of how he was saying that that this also helped me differentiate myself, because I was always open to learning, and then he spoke about another example where he doesn't come from a financial background, and he said that I would go to the bank for lending for loans, specifically to the school, and then they would talk to me about this language in ROI and this and that, and I wouldn't understand it because he comes from an IT background. And so he said, I went and did a finance course. And in a few months later, I was speaking or as well or in the same language as the banker to put forth my point. Now, when he said the course, it's not that the course is just capable of giving us all. It's ultimately our attitude of learning is what he was, as I understood in him, that had that innate curiosity कि मैं जाऊं, मैं सीखूं, मैं समझूं और मैं फिर अपनी बात सही तरह से रखूं, या in turn I also understand what they are telling me. So I think that also goes a long way in skill sets in various aspects of our life. Not everywhere we can learn, but yes, in certain aspects we learn, in certain aspects our attitude towards that need, in certain aspects perhaps our observations of how we can deal with our own क्या कहते हैं जो responses हैं, can help us look into these aspects.
I think here is a clash of selection and choices that also needs to be understood. When we talk about a skill, for that matter, suppose you are buying something on Amazon. So you will have multiple choices of the same, like for example, Binal was purchasing this mic, extension mic. So there are a lot of options available on Amazon. So what all things that we checked is like the particular function that we are looking forward, that physical aspect, the physical function, and then the feedback of the users. Then I think third is the portability. I remember like we chose one mic which was having a port option, and another mic was having USB option. So Binal chose the USB option for the portability because In other laptops of her, the port option was not there, USB is there. So if the portability to be maintained, then she chose that I can use the same mic for both the laptops. So let's go for USB. So all these are the skill analysis. This is absolutely mathematical. There's no choice here. It is just selection. Right? Now the choice comes in if the chosen selection is not up to the mark, as we presumed. If it is not functioning that way as we expected it to function, and we feel bad, there comes the choice. Are we able to comprehend this aspect of choice, how selection is getting converted into choice, Vijay? No.
Yes, sir.
Suppose you chose the third painter. Selected.
तो हाँ अभी तक चूज नहीं किया है
नहीं,
बट हाँ
let's
जस्ट
say-
एक्सपीरियंस में कि भाई ये बंदे का मतलब जिससे कुछ एक्सपेक्टेशन नहीं था कि मतलब क्योंकि वो उस टाइम पे कंक्लूजन आ रहा था बट उसको मैंने ऑब्जर्व किया एंड देन वो जो बोलते हैं ना एक रैपो बन जाता है कस्टमर एंड
स्किल निकल के आया, नहीं रैपो बन गया. अगर यहाँ पर फिर आपको वो अटैचमेंट आ रहा, then that becomes a choice of yours. If you are focusing on the skill, like his way of talking, explaining, reflects the skill of the individual.
करेक्ट
ये रैपो का बात नहीं है. आपको कैसा बिहेव किया आपसे, आपको चाय पिलाया या आइसक्रीम खिलाया, इसके ऊपर आपको अच्छा लग गया, that's a choice aspect. Now if you are skill focused, then you will be able to gauge somewhat about the skill through that individual's explanation and all those things. Now we were talking about the choice, like suppose you have selected, after so much of analysis, you have selected some specific painter and you employed, and the ultimate work what he has done is the shabby work. It's not as you expected. Then what is your state of mind? That will decide about the choice, not the selection. Are we able to comprehend this, the difference between the selection and the choice? नहीं
समझ रहे हो
समझ रहे हैं ना?
हाँ,
मतलब जो बुरा लगने वाले बात होगा ना, अगर if it
तो
is
फिर
not,
how you take that thing कि बुरा लग रहा है कि नहीं and then observe that बुरा लगना thing to you and then go beyond that.
so for that we need to go further deeper actually. The particular need with which you went ahead, what is the relevance of that need for your life actually? That needs to be explored. You know, your house, if it is not painted, then also it doesn't matter actually. So if you have that depth of understanding, then the perfection will not bring any botheration. That doesn't mean that you are ready to compromise with the quality of work. You understand that? Like understanding of death versus suicidal. Understanding of death and the suicidal tendency are two different things. Am I able to explain it? Or Binal, anything?
Understanding of death
Yes, yes,
and suicidal thinking.
yes. So one individual is aware of death. What is death? And other individual is having a suicidal tendency. So an aware person will not be bothering if the death is nearing. So that doesn't mean inviting death. So that's what, like, you are okay to go ahead with an imperfect work, but that doesn't mean that while selecting, you will select an imperfect person knowing. Mhm.
So
Kalyan,
Yeah, Rajeshwari.
sorry. I mean, I appreciate what you're trying to say. And I can relate as well, but I'm just going back and trying to reflect it within and see that, is that how we are? I'm not saying the normal is normal. When I mean, well, the normal is normal means the way we generally respond is not really normal, perhaps is not. But when the conditioning that has happened, which is so deep from our early years of like in this case, for example, of that aspect of expectation, because this is what we're talking about is expectation, you know. Do I have an expectation? I put my best, whether it's in any task that I do, or whether it's any selection of any vendor, or if it's a select, or if it's any business, or if it's my job, I'm putting my my fullest. When I say fullest, in the sense not with an idea of fullest, but in a natural state, whatever I can deliver with all the best possible vitality that I can make available to that task. And the resultant, we are saying, is not something that I need to be, that is beyond my sphere, and is not my attitude towards the result, or is what really matters. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
And more often than so, we may have certain areas where we may be able to observe this, but not necessarily, you know, because the conditioning is so deep that it has to be continuously observed in every sphere, in every aspect of my life, in every, and only then can this actually be dissolved. Because let's say I could perhaps have this attitude when it comes to a painting. But is that my attitude when it comes to, let's say, a business proposition in which I would have invested perhaps a lot of time, money, effort, and financial savings, for example?
With an expectation of ROI,
Yes.
commercial ROI.
So at that point, do I have the same attitude that I held when it was with the painting gone wrong? Can I continue that?
Let's inquire that. Absolutely valid question. Yeah, Radha, you want to share something? Yeah. We have 1.5 minutes for this session, but we will be rejoining again. Yes, please continue.
Okay. So there are two things that I would like to talk about. One is, if I am recruiting or if I'm finding someone to do a particular task for me, then first and foremost, as a person who's going to be, and this is transactional, so as a person who's going to be spending money for the services that are rendered, first and foremost thing is that I will find out what is it that I want, why is it I want it, what is the purpose of beautification of the house, and what is at stake, how important is it. Once that is decided, second step will be what kind of look do I want for the house. Even before selection, I will want to have clarity on why I'm doing this and for how long is this going to be and how much money do I have to invest, because beautification is investment. So that is the why part of it. That why is it to be done?
Let's take the other part in the next session.
Yeah,
We are rejoining right away using the
Okay.
same